Joe, week 3 of the college football playoff rankings is among us here. I know where you're going to start. So I don't know if you want me to read these off. I'm sure by now that you know where most of these are. Joe, do you want me to bring it up here, or do you? I'm sure people know where things are at the current moment.
Most people know where these are ranked. And if you haven't seen it, go to collegefootballplayoffrankings.com, I think is the website. Like the first thing that you just already alluded to that you know I'm going to bring up here. It's an ongoing argument, and now it's one that's come to fruition. Boise State is the 4th seed. They're okay, wait. I'm already getting ahead of myself here because this is pissing me off so much. Because they are the 4th highest ranked conference champion, they get placed as the 4th team to receive a bye. They are the 12th ranked team in the rankings. Forget what anybody's going to sit here and say. So if Boise State's worthy of being in the playoff field, if they're worthy of being in the conversation, forget that for a quick second. The fact that they are the last team, the lowest ranked team, and that they earn a place in the playoff as a bye team is freaking ridiculous. I am hoping that if this does expand to 14, if this does expand to 14, or if there is some sort of revisiting of the format of this, that they realize that this is BS that Boise State is placed where they are. And I also hate the fact that BYU is on the outside looking in and that they get an opportunity to be the 12th team, last team in. I don't like the handouts that are being given to some of these teams. I don't necessarily mind if BYU wins their conference and they're the 12th team, but it feels like we're placing ourselves in a position to miss out on quality teams like Texas A&M. I will begrudgingly admit a team like South Carolina that has been very competitive and scrappy, or other teams like, actually, that's probably about it. I don't have anybody else to throw in that.
Joe, South Carolina beats BYU today, and that has been my argument with you the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I mean, if we're just going to cut it down to a nutshell, let's start with that. So, where I come from, okay, I know that South Carolina, it should be in this, right? Like I see them. They're better than BYU. Now, to your point, we had a lot of debates during this offseason about automatic qualifiers. Mm-hmm. A lot. You gave me pushback. Blake, if they win their conference, they should be in. Okay. Do you think Boise State and BYU should be in at the current moment? Because if
wait. Okay. I don't disagree with the concept of specifically BYU. I don't disagree with the concept of them getting in because they won their conference. I disagree with the concept that they should earn a bye just because they won their conference.
I don't
they're
think
clearly not the 4th best team.
BYU and Boise has no business being in there. And now we'll accept Colorado because it's a great story at the current moment, and we would want to see what it looks like with Deion. And that is what it is. They don't deserve to be there either. Joe, I look at, if I'm a team like A&M, South Carolina, and I'm going to throw them out there because you're going to hate me for it, but at the current moment, if I'm SMU, I'm pretty.
I actually don't hate that SMU.
I'm pretty pissed off because I know that BYU. Like I get that whole thing that's going on there with SMU. They're also in a more competitive conference and they're doing what they're doing. I understand the loss to BYU. I get that, but if I'm A&M right now, I'm livid. Even if I lose to Texas, you put rankings up here, and if A&M loses to Texas, wait, you're telling me that's supposed to happen? You're already telling me. So everything that A&M's done is not better than what BYU and Boise State has done? We're arguing about this every week. And, Joe, I know it takes so much time in college football to change things. I'm going to say another one. Indiana is still at 5. And after this week, y'all are going to come in here. Joe, if Indiana loses to Ohio State, A&M better not be out of the playoff ranking next week. They better not be.
They better not be in, is what you're saying.
No, I mean A&M better not be out of the playoff.
Yes. I thought you said Indiana.
It should not happen. Here's another one.
Okay.
If I'm South Carolina, I'm saying to myself, we just destroyed A&M. Destroyed them. So again, Joe, that's 2 spots. Now, I don't know what other team in the Big Ten that you can throw in there, right? Like, the only other team in the Big Ten that, I mean, Joe, they don't have anything from the 5th spot all the way down to 25. So they're very top heavy.
Right. The Big Ten right now definitely is top heavy, and it's always been a super top heavy conference. So like that part doesn't surprise me the way that it shapes up. I think, and this is less of a take on if they're deserving or not, but more of a projection. What happened with BYU and how far they fell. I believe they fell 8 spots from last week. I think they were number 6.
Technically, they were 4, though. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, so, but what I'm bringing this up for is that if they lose, if Indiana loses this game and they lose, say they don't cover, say they lose by 14 or more, and it looks like they weren't even in the game the entire time, and everybody feels like they got their asses kicked. I'm not saying that that's going to happen because I said the opposite was going to happen in our preview. But I think that the movement by BYU is an indicator to me that Indiana is going to get pushed out of the playoff completely if they do not play a competitive close game against Ohio State.
Better lose within 7.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that, and I haven't disagreed with that. That you have to win, you have to keep it within 7 points because the rest of your schedule is so weak. It's in the hundreds, their strength of schedule. You have to play Ohio State close because look at with Penn State's case. Penn State loses that game by an inch practically, and it was as close as it was. They're living off of the fact that they have a close loss against one of the highest ranked teams.
Nothing about Penn State. You have not come in here and heard me say one thing about Penn State, and I see a lot of people are mad at it. But here's what I got in the top of the Big Ten right now. I have Ohio State on the road in Oregon having to travel. They lose on the road by 1. I see Penn State, to your point, Joe, like you said, they lost by an inch. So rank them however you want to rank them. They deserve to be in the top 5. Just going to throw it out the way that it is. Indiana has no business being up there, bud. And if I'm Bama.
Wait, hold on a second. Clarify up there. What do you mean by up there? In what range do they not belong?
In the top 12.
You're saying they don't belong in the top 12 at all right now?
No, I would put Indiana at like 11 or 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind that take. I don't completely agree with it, but I don't mind that take.
Okay, but hold on. If I'm Bama right now, okay?
Yeah, I agree with this. Yeah.
If I'm Bama, I'm saying that, hey, why does Ohio State, who's had an easy schedule all year, get to face Boise State? Or BYU. We played more ranked opponents in the last month. Get this. Joe, get this now.
Yeah.
That Ohio State has played in a year and a half. So if we want to be real about something here, for crying out loud, I'm looking at this saying now that rankings are in the place that they're in, I'm pissed off. And a whole nother thing. Wait a minute. Joe, where's Tennessee?
Tennessee's technically out of it.
Oh.
So that's right. So this is where it's egregious. Yeah, this is where it's egregious.
This is where I got to go. How in the Rudy Poo hell? How in the Rudy Poo hell does Tennessee fall below Alabama? How?
Well, they've got 2 losses. Actually, they have the same exact record.
They got a head against them.
This is probably this is the crazy thing that we should have brought up first, or it should have been the second point after Boise State. The fact that we're removing Tennessee to be able to hold hands and say, Boise State, you get to come play with us. You get to be a part of it too, bud. That's what's ridiculous. I don't want to make the argument against Indiana being in there over Tennessee. I don't want to make the argument against some of these other squads that are in there because I think mostly everybody else is justified. But the fact that a team like Boise State that wouldn't even be able to hold, carry Tennessee's water out the practice, the fact that they're given a bye and Tennessee is sitting on the sideline playing in whatever, cheap ass, crappy bowl game that they're going to get invited to, That's the team that should be the most disenfranchised. That's what's the craziest part about this. Wait. But how many SEC teams would that be? That would be 1.
There would have been 5 if they were in.
And there should be 5 SEC teams. If 5 SEC teams have 2 losses, they all deserve to get in. If Texas A&M beats Texas, I'm telling you right now, the committee is going to have no freaking idea what to do. This is going to be a shit show.
Texas is out.
You would take Texas out completely?
I would take Texas out completely, yeah, because their biggest win would be against Vandy. I mean, I'm just being real.
That's.
I mean, if you got to leave somebody out, Texas has got to be out because, again, I have Tennessee with multiple ranked wins. I have Bama with multiple ranked wins. I have Georgia with an out-of-conference ranked win and 3 in-conference ranked wins.
So I don't mean to cut you off, but like to bring that up, to look ahead, and we actually talked about this last week, and that clip went viral for us on TikTok. It got like 80,000 views because they're talking about this hypothetical. I'm going to go as far as to say, based on the committee's actions and their behavior in handling SEC teams, like we're seeing with Tennessee, if Texas A&M beats Texas, neither of them will make it. I think that based on how the committee has handled this, that they will take both of them out.
All right, Texas and who?
If Texas A&M beats Texas,
and Indiana loses.
No. That has nothing to do. That has nothing. That's another layer. We're creating too many hypotheticals if we add that layer in. All I am simply saying is that say these remaining teams finish strong enough. I don't think that there's really any head-to-heads that affect it. If Texas A&M beats Texas, I think based on how the committee has put these teams today, that neither one of them would make it. They would both get knocked out.
Joe, can I give you a hot take?
Okay.
If Texas doesn't beat A&M, you better put South Carolina in there before them.
No, because Tennessee would then be the next man up.
No. Because I'm assuming Indiana's going to fall out. Okay. So I'm putting Tennessee in for Indiana at the current moment. That is
I still can't get behind it. Look, South Carolina has been a good team, but a 3-loss team. We're not at that measure yet.
They would lead the country with 7 at that moment. They would have had 7 of their 9 wins would be ranked. So again, you don't want to talk about 9-3 teams. 7 of the 9.
But 7 of the 9.
At the time that they played, you want me to
name? Stop. I hate when you do that. I don't like it when you do that at the time that they played. Ranked at the current moment of when the playoff is officially announced. Okay, then that is all that matters.
And Notre Dame has no ranked wins.
Texas A&M's not going to completely drop out of the top 25. Army's also still going to stay ranked. They doubt that they drop Army.
No, they're not. They're going to be
out.
They're
up to 19. You think they'll take them completely out if Notre Dame kills them?
Yeah,
all right, that's fair. That's fair.
Joe, I'm telling you. If I'm South Carolina, I'm saying, how is Texas's best win Vandy? And I just beat the 3 of the last 4. Hold on, because all these teams are going to be ranked. 3 of the last 4 wins, because Missouri's still ranked. Right?
Yeah,
Missouri's still ranked. Regardless, it doesn't matter. If that's the criteria that you're giving me, right? If the criteria is about ranked win, strength of schedule, that means in the last month I would have beaten ranked Mizzou, ranked Clemson, and ranked A&M. Nobody can say that they had a tougher month than South Carolina. No one.
They had a very tough schedule, and I don't disagree that their performance has not been impressive, but I just don't love the thought of putting a 3-loss team in here. I think that,
Joe,
you got to win the games that you play. It's the same freaking thing that we did with the Alabama TCU thing. I know that South Carolina might win certain matchups.
You're wrong.
One final thing I want to bring up.
Okay, let me ask you this hypothetical before we move on to the last thing. Here's a hypothetical for you. Would you put South Carolina in a power ranking over Texas if they lost against A&M?
No. I would. God, I don't even know what.
Here's
I
the
would do.
truth.
Wait, hold on. There's too many moving pieces for me to be able to articulate that at the current
one moving
moment.
piece. It's literally
No, because I don't know what's happening with the teams above them. I think that is too complex to articulate. I think without like sitting and evaluating what other possibilities can happen. I just don't like
every week.
That is a very complex hypothetical, and I don't love dealing in these deep hypotheticals. But I just want to bring this up. If I'm at Ohio State, I am licking my chops at the opportunity that I am being placed in here. And I don't know if they're going to fall if they lose to Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. Oregon should likely swap to that 5 spot, but whoever's in that 5 seed is going to get a comically easy path to get to the semifinal, because right now they're scheduled to play Boise State. And if BYU loses out, you're either going to get Arizona State or you're going to get Colorado. Colorado is going to be a more competitive matchup, but that 5 seed, man, is going to get a really, really light path. And I think that's not a new take, because we've brought that up before.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it being Ole Miss,
right?
Which, I got to be real with you. I would take Ole Miss today over Indiana, and I'd take them over.
I would take them to beat them. I don't disagree with that.
I'd take Ole Miss over Indiana.
Okay.
Jesus, and I would take Ole Miss over Texas. The real slobber knocker is when Georgia would play Miami.
That's a good point. That would be a fun matchup. That would be a really fun matchup.
So here's the truth too. If this remains, Joe, there is a very small chance that of the remaining 8 that you have 5 SEC teams when this is all said and done.
I think I still stand by that. I do strongly believe that there should be 5 SEC teams that get into the playoffs.
People are going to be so pissed. They're going to be
They're the most competitive teams. You want to put out the most competitive product.
Oh, no.
5 SEC teams should get in.
All right.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.